Congratulations, you played yourself. You played yourself. You played yourself.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Saladino. I think the most frustrating thing about being an anti-SJW is seeing just how stupid SJWs are, and knowing that the only reason these idiots have any power or influence is because of, YouTube, Twitter, big tech, and even the government. The establishment overall really protects these assholes and treats even the most reasoned criticism as hate speech. You could be as articulate, have all the caveats you want when you're trying to explain your position about a lot of this SJW and woke shit. But it doesn't matter, because just the fact that you're criticizing something that they're propping up for whatever reason, that's enough for you to be labeled as a bigot. But ultimately, it really doesn't matter like how many people they block. YouTube can shadow ban you, or demonetize you. Patreon can steal your money and tell you that, oh, you're promoting hate speech on your YouTube channel. So, and I'm not talking about me, but you're promoting hate speech on your YouTube channel. I think Sydney Watson, she did a video a little while back where they took away her Patreon because they were saying she was spreading hate speech for criticizing transgender women. So, they could do that, or PayPal can freeze your account like for months on end and say that they're trying to verify your identification, or they're trying to, it looks like you might be scamming your audience. They did that to Young Ripa with the ISOM issue 1. And they could do all that kind of stuff. YouTube, Google, Twitter can ban you, all that. But they can't actually force you to buy their shitty comics, or go see their shitty movies, or play their shitty video games. Of course, Volition has been shut down. What did these idiots think was going to happen? The Saints Row fan base told these assholes that they didn't want a Tumblr-style reboot of their beloved franchise. But Volition showed their whole behind on Twitter, talking about haters gonna hate and all that shit. And now we're supposed to give a shit about them losing their jobs. I don't care. I personally do not give a shit. I don't care who lost their jobs. Like, they all actively made this game. Now, you could say some of these developers actually didn't even agree with it, but it's a job. They have to do it. So it does suck for them. But the front-facing portion of Volition actively said, we're not going to back down, and haters are going to hate, and this is the way to go forward, and we're going to drive out all the bad people we don't want in our audience. So whatever. But I know it seems like Volition was first absorbed into Gearbox. So maybe some of those developers, if they're talented, are working directly now with Gearbox, and then just the name Volition is gone. Either way, I don't care, but Volition put out this statement. The Volition team has proudly created world-class entertainment for fans around the globe for 30 years. We've been driven by a passion for our community and always worked to deliver joy, surprise, and delight. This past June, Embracer Group announced a restructuring program to strengthen Embracer and maintain its position as a leader in the video game industry. As part of that program, they evaluated strategic and operational goals and made the difficult decision to close Volition effective immediately. To help our team, we are working to provide job assistance and help smooth the transition for our Volition family members. We thank our customers and fans around the world for all the love and support over the years. You will always be in our hearts. Volition Games. Now, so good, cool. They're trying to find positions for their workers that they probably fucked over. Again, like I said, I honestly don't care that this studio is being shut down. The people who are working there can be put, hopefully, in other jobs if they're talented enough to do it. Like, I don't care about people losing their job if they're not talented at what they do, if they're not even competent at what they do. And in the case of, so with Volition Games, they put out this statement and they talk about, you will always be in our hearts. But you had people actively at that fucking development company, actively insulting fans, shitting on fans, calling fans terrorists for criticizing the game, overstating harm by saying, oh, this is dark shit, because people are literally just saying this is woke, dumb bullshit and making fun of the game. And they say review bombing, but it wasn't review bombing. the actual fans who are supposedly in the hearts of the Volition team or whatever said, this is not going to fly. We want Johnny Gat. We want Saints Row. We don't want this Tumblr inspired bullshit. Whatever this crap is, we don't want it. We don't want to play a game about a bunch of coffee drinking assholes talking about they need to pay off their student loan debt, by robbing banks and shit. Like, they hired people to make a video game. Video games are supposed to be fun and entertaining. Now, art can be, have like difficult pleasures, like Harold Bloom would say. Like, reading doesn't always have to be like a pleasurable experience. You can go through shit in experiencing art, and it's kind of cathartic in a way. Some people might get depressed by it and don't deal with it, but there's a lot of challenging movies and art out there that is engaging because of the fact that it's so heavy and depressing and whatnot. And ultimately it's not depressing, it's just cathartic. Like I said, there was this film called Yi Yi, and one of the characters said the great thing about film is that you get to live a lot of lives by just experiencing different types of movies. If you've never been in a war, you can watch a war film. If you've never had a passionate, torrid affair, cheated on your wife, you could do that. And then, to get really dark, you could experience all kinds of things, murders, all kinds of shit in film. And it's safe because it's all fiction. It's not real. And so, yeah, there can be arguments even with stupid Naughty Dog by saying we don't use fun for our games and say we want to have an artistic experience that could really engage you. But the problem is the people that they're hiring are not trying to engage you on any level. They're not trying to entertain you. They're just trying to beat you over the head, including Naughty Dog, with their bullshit agenda. So the problem is you hire an activist to try to make money for you when these people don't care about money. They don't care about their audience. They literally said, two people who said, this is not the way. Making a Saints Row game with this fucking Poindexter, with this bow tie, and this fucking shirtless goofball with this stupid helmet, this is not the way. This angry black woman on the cover and all this shit, that's not engaging, it's not enticing, it's not entertaining. It's everything that everybody hates about modern gaming, modern geek shit, period. Don't do this. And they said, fuck you, haters are gonna hate, we're not backing down, we know that you don't like change, but get over yourselves. You can't force people to buy shit if they don't want to buy it. So you could force development companies and publishers to, do the diversity and inclusion thing and hire these clowns. You can force them to make sure that the women are ugly and trans friendly. You can do all that shit. But when it comes down to actually people buying it, neither the so-called modern audience that you're supposedly catering to, nor the actual fans that you've decided to shit on and replace are going to buy it. And so, of course, Volition is shut down. Of course, Disney is losing billions because they are not making things that people want. And you can't force them to subscribe to Disney Plus. You can't force them to go see The Little Mermaid. You're not going to be able to force them to go see Snow White and the Seven They Thems. Stop hiring these activists to actually make entertainment for people because they don't want to entertain people. They don't even want to create art. That's not the approach that these people are taking. They are basically literally just pushing propaganda down people's throats. If you, as a straight male, like to see attractive women, we're not going to make attractive women. We're going to make an ugly black woman with an attitude. We're going to make a trans woman or a trans-friendly looking woman. She's not going to have any curves. She's not going to be dressed in any kind of way. We're not going to refer to men and women as men and women or male and females. When we give you a character creator, it's going to be type 1 and type 2. Because even though 99% of the world understands and recognizes gender and knows that there are only two genders, you have game developers and you have activists working at these developer companies and publishing companies who are obsessed with gender. They've hired these morons to work at their companies, and they're creating these games that nobody wants. They're losing all this money and spending all this money on this shit, In the real world, you have HR departments looking at applications that say, they, them as gender and going, nope, I'm giving that a miss. I'm not dealing with that bullshit. Absolutely not. I mean, I don't know if they're ever going to learn. Well, that's the thing. It's going to be up to the publishers and the leaders, the people who hire and fire, who are going to have to be like, no, I can't do this. I'm losing money. I'm losing my shirt. But hey, if they don't, it's up to them. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not going to be crying when I see, another development company, has been shut down, and what is going to happen to all those poor workers? Fuck those workers. If they weren't smart enough, you always have these idiots, like the idiots in Image, the people who work the copy machine and stuff, deciding that they want to unionize and decide what kind of comics Image put out. You have those people. But then if there are people who are actually against that stuff and they're just afraid to speak out, then if they don't speak out and band together to stop this woke shit that's infecting their company and costing them jobs, then that's on them. I don't feel sorry for them anyway. They don't even have enough sense, a lot of these people. Because you talk about, it's terrible that HR is not hiring people with non-binary and they, them pronouns. It's because anybody's stupid enough to put that on their resume, knowing that people are against that, and yet they're boldly deciding that it doesn't matter if you like it or not. You're going to respect my pronouns. If they're not smart enough to realize that they got to move in a more responsible way in the world, then they don't deserve jobs in, prestigious gaming companies or once prestigious gaming companies. I'm personally glad that Volition's been shut down. It couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of goofballs.